Hi, it's Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast. Welcome back. Today we have got a special delivery. Now, I wish this delivery came last week on our trip to North Georgia. It didn't, came a couple days late, but sure enough, from Tesstudio, Studio, we've got a refrigerated cooler for the front of your Cybertruck. Now, a couple of reasons why this is cool and maybe necessary for some of you. If you're going on a trip, maybe you've got medication that has to be refrigerated, okay? Now you can always put it in a cooler, but you don't really want the water in there. You have to bag it up and it just becomes a mess. This is a nice refrigerated cooler, powers right off your Tesla. It's gonna go right in between your driver's side and passenger side hump right there, the absent hump. It's gonna create a hump. And as many of you know, my dogs like walking across there. So this is gonna be a great way to prevent them from walking across my wife's feet to my feet while I'm driving, or even an FSD. So we're gonna unbox this and we're gonna install this and we're gonna get some input on this. Now also, you can put your soda in here, your beer, your martinis, anything you want to chill. And this way you always have it cold right at your fingertips. And we're gonna see exactly how much this holds. So without further ado, I got my knife and my glasses, and we're going to open this thing up. Complete unboxing here. We don't normally unbox on camera, but we're doing that today because Tesstudio came through with a really cool product, and we want to make sure we give it justice. Now, by the way, this came shipped from FedEx, and it was actually taped up all around the outside to kind of protect it, because this is an electrical component, and you don't really want water getting on in here. So we do have some installations here to do. We've got a couple of plastic pieces, instruction manual, and some styrofoam. Wow, a styrofoam. And this is a very robust cooler. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is pretty beefy. Now this looks like it is AC powered. Now many of you know that I'm a 35-year pickup truck owner. And back then, you had your 12-volt cigarette plug refrigerators that you used to use. The problem is 12-volt DC is not really enough to make it cold. It makes it kind of cool, but if you want cold, you need AC power, and that's what this is going to do. The great thing is you've got AC power right at the front. And in fact, you may see that we've added the extra power from Tesstudio right underneath the armrest. So there's going to be that plug right there as well. Now here's the rubber pad. We'll put that to the side for now. And we're just going to lift this up, push this to the side, and we've got another plastic part to assemble. Now this looks like this is the coolant part. Now this is going to plug into the AC power. There's a fuse over here, and we will go ahead, put the styrofoam back in the box, move it aside, and we're going to get to work. And before we do this installation, there's a couple of housekeeping items I want to make sure you're aware of. We have finally reached over 3,000 subscribers, and we also have over 55,000 views. But do me a favor, if you have one of those stupid, I bought this before Elon went crazy stickers in your vehicle, time to get rid of it, okay? Now, let's install. Okay, so before I actually do the install, I want to tell you a little bit about each of the parts because they're going to be pretty important. Now, the first thing first is I originally had this center console piece in between the seats, and I really enjoyed using this. In fact, I might switch back and forth between trips, but I had to remove this to make way for the refrigerator. Now, these two plastic pieces that come with it, what that is I'm going to show you that center console area. You've got two rails, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. We're going to be removing the one on the passenger side, replacing it with this. And the reason being, this is shaped a little different to make sure that refrigerator goes in there, fits snugly, doesn't move around or anything. Now, to do this, to do the installation, it's going to be a very tight fit. So we're going to have to remove the carpeting, which I'll show you how that works. Because to do that, we're going to have to remove the stock rails on the bottom, and that carpeting goes around these. So I have to remove the carpeting just to remove these. So my wife is going to go ahead and film from the driver's side while I'm on the passenger side, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how it all fits into place. Now the other part I do want to mention is the power module itself. This is going to sit in just like this underneath your center console. We'll show you more like that in person, but this is also where your plug for your AC power goes. Now we're going to have to get in here, so we're going to have to remove my plastic rubber floor mat. And what I'm going to do is first on the side carpet here, pull this out. There we go. And then across the top here, we have this carpet piece we'll be pulling out. There we go. And see how this pulls out just like this? Okay, we just need to go about halfway and pull it off to the side. And the reason for that, we just need to get this out of here. Now, in case you didn't see, this piece was over this plastic hump right here, okay? You can't pull this plastic off without removing this piece. So, we're just gonna take this over to the side, and this has a couple clips underneath. I'm just gonna pull it out just like that. And you're just gonna get this piece, and we're gonna put this in a safe spot somewhere in my garage, because we'll need this one day if I ever decide to go back to the other center console storage. Okay, so that's where it's gonna go. But we have to get the refrigerator in here first. So, we're gonna pull this out for now and pull this to the side and put this back in place. We're going to find where those rivets go in and pop them back in place. Okay, so I can put this side carpeting back in. This is clipped up into place. I've got a bunch of sand underneath here from when I beached my truck. I probably should vacuum, but I'm just going to push it out of the way for now. Okay. Next piece is this right here. This is going to go in, it's going to fit. There's an opening for the back right here, just like that. And we're going to leave the power kind of hanging up between the seat. Now in here, you should see there's 2 plugs. And that's where the refrigerator plugs into. Okay. Time for the refrigerator. Just remember which side goes in which. This slant goes towards the front. So I'm going to spin this around this way. Another way to know for sure which way it goes is the cord goes towards the back of the vehicle. This is going to go right there in that opening. Now, this is going to be a little snug, but it will fit. So what you're going to do is drop this into the floor, just like a V. Okay. Now here's your power, which, take that rubber piece off. We're going to plug this in. It goes notch side down. So I'm going to feel right here for the opening, or I'm going to look because here it is. Okay, I'm plugged into the power. Now you don't want to kink this electrical cable. So as you're putting it in, you're going to want to shove it in this opening right here. We're going to move this as close to here as possible. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift it up above these plastic pieces and drop it in place. So one thing you'll note is that it's much cleaner now because my wife got some makeup remover rags, or not rags, towels, and cleaned it all off here. Now, again, we've got this cord right here. All we have to do is elevate this about an inch and push it in. So I'm going to go ahead and lift it up and slide it in. And look at that, kind of just snug right on in there. So this is what this plastic mat, or rubber mat I should say, came here with. In case you want to put this on top, I'm probably going to opt not to. But then we have to put these back on here, right? We just talked about that. So, as we said, this clips in like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and secure it in. And really this is mostly for aesthetics. It's gonna give it a nice polished look though. Again, we wanna get this thing clipped in here. And boom, just like that. It also functions as a baffle so it doesn't move anywhere. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a look on this side so you can really see just how OEM this thing looks. A little scratch on there, but look how flush that is. And from a distance, that looks polished. Now, don't forget, peel off your cover, your plastic cover piece right there. Remember, we've got the power plug right here, the AC power. We've got the AC power right here. We could plug it into here, but that's gonna be kind of goofy with this wire. And plus, I kind of want to use that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run this along the seat, back here to the AC power back here. So between the seat, we've got this AC power. Again, these are the extra power outlets we did in another episode that we went ahead and purchased. But underneath here, you've got an AC power. We're just gonna plug this in there and power it that way so it's out of the way. And also, I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about power back here. For them, I just have to worry about power for my dogs. And you know, they really don't use power that much, so we're good. Now, if you remember, between your USB power is your AC. Remember that this wire is grounded, meaning one side is thicker than the other, so you will not be able just to plug it in willy-nilly. It has to go in one way or the other. So I'm going to power it from here, run this wire underneath. It's going to go right here at the passenger side here, and it's all hidden. This wire is as hidden as you can get. Now over here you've got a power, and you've got plus and minus. Now remember, this is going to run while the vehicle is moving, or you have to remember to put the power on while you're not here. So if you're going to park for several hours and you need to keep this thing cool, you have to remember to power that on and keep it on. Now this lifts up just like this. Either side has got an opening, and right in here you've got your storage. Now there's also blue tape back here to hold the one of the pieces in. You'll see there's a drawer right underneath there. So if you want to put like a sandwich in there or anything else, maybe a medication, maybe a candy bar, you've got a drawer right underneath there, making maximum use for all this space in here. Again, they said it was 18 liters of storage. I'm gonna get a couple of Gatorades and pop them in here and show you, but this is gonna take a couple hours for it to cool off. But this is really cool for a trip because again, you just lift this thing up, and I need to remember to remove my firearm so I can open it a lot higher. My firearm gets in the way there. So there you go. There's your storage. There's your coolant, your cooler right there. And my wife decided to put the rubber piece on top. She kind of likes it here like this. So whatever she likes, she gets. But here we're going to go ahead and turn this thing on. We're going to let it run overnight. We're going to leave the power on for the truck, and we're going to let this thing cool up, come back tomorrow. But I'm going to go grab a couple Gatorades real quick and show you just how much you can store in here. Okay, so I got the remaining Gatorade in my refrigerator, which was 3. And we're just going to lift this thing open. And 1. And these are the larger Gatorades too, these 24 ounce, I believe. You can easily put half a dozen in here, if not more. This is huge. This is just tons and tons of storage. This is huge. Folks, this is tons of storage, minimal use of battery, and it's gonna keep your stuff cold for that trip. By the way, when we go on trips, many of you don't realize, my wife and I, we keep a lot of our stuff in our frunk, in our cooler bags. And when we do that, that means we can't usually get it until we stop at a charging station. So being able to have a cooler here makes things a lot easier. Plus, who wants to keep a cooler, get in your way, like, at your feet, right? It gets in your way. It's just awkward. This is a great use of storage in a place that isn't going to bother anyone, and it's going to keep the dogs from crossing over into your steering wheel. So that's our episode for today. Thank you for Tesstudio for sending this over, having us install it. Remember, folks, like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to see you again tomorrow.